Energy Workout on Air.
Your dose of prana power.
On the go!
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to all our listeners all over the world. And I'm Donna, your host for today. And with me is Marixie and Ai as our co-host. Yes. By the
Hello.
Thank you. This is our first episode for the season 2 of Energy Workout on Air. And with us today, Marixie will introduce us to our first guest.
Yes, our very special guest today. Hi, Dr. Marian Alonzo. So she is live chiming in from the farm. She's the chief of the farm. It's a wellness resort in Batangas. She's also a board of director of LAMMP, Lipunan ng mga Antroposopikong Manggagamot at Maghihilom ng Pilipinas, and also National Certifications Committee board member of PITAC, which is the Philippine Institute of Traditional and Alternative Healthcare. Welcome, Dr. Maria. We're so happy to be with you here today.
Also happy to be here with you, sharing your energy.
Okay, so we'll proceed with learning more about your specialty as well as learning more about the connection to our season 2, episode 1, which is entitled How to Ease Body Pain the Natural Way. Ai?
Okay, so first off, Doc Marian, we'd like to learn more about anthroposophic medicine and naturopathic medicine, no? Especially for those who will be hearing it for the first time while listening to this podcast. So, and in relation with that, why or what made you interested in specializing in these integrative approaches?
Okay, so first off, anthroposophic medicine from the word anthro, meaning human, Sophie, wisdom. And then anthro is a Greek word for upright standing. So as a human being, the uprightness. And it's not just physical uprightness, but when when you stand for your truth and you stand for something that's being upright, held, your chin held high, na hindi ka nag-bribe, things like that. So anthroposophic medicine, the non-technical term is spiritual science. So this is actually the medical study of the human being. So you have the physical body, and all of us doctors, anthroposophic doctors, we went through the usual conventional medicine. That's mastering the physical body. So that when we tell our patients this is good for you, it's not just an idea, but we actually went through the rigorous process of 24-hour, 36-hour duty, really trying to see the limits of the human body. So that's physical conventional medicine. And then you have the spiritual side of medicine. And so that's why we're Filipinos. And even in other countries, they have their, there's the divinity. And just to let you know, I've been with the farm for over 23 years. We do have patients who are also atheists. So basically, we want to help our patients because that's our calling. We want to be able to use the language that they are comfortable with. So if they don't believe in God, we just say for example, magnesium. Magnesium is a muscle relaxant. But there's a spiritual being behind magnesium. That's why you're able to relax. So with that in mind, even if you don't have to say it outright, and that's why they're able to accept it. So yeah, anthroposophic medicine, you have the physical and the spiritual and the physical. You also have the in-between. So there's what you call the etheric body, and pranic healing is all about prana, chi, right? The energy body. So that's the etheric body. And that's really the bottleneck. You want the spiritual miraculous healing. And then how do you translate that to the physical? You clean the energy body. That's the etheric body. And then there's another layer, that's the mental emotional body. In other literatures, you call it the astral body. So now, in other words, you have the mental emotional body, that's the conscious part of us, the belief system. But there's the subconscious, that's the etheric or the energy body. How come this is good for you, and yet somehow you're not doing what's good for you? Because there's a saboteur, and usually it's the subconscious. Spiritual is the superconscious. So when we treat patients, we look at all these levels, and that's anthroposophic medicine.
Wow. So in other words, it's really holistic, no? Not just looking at one aspect of the being, no, but all aspects. And then yung approaching like therapies or healing in a holistic level then. So being a part of the board naman of PITAC, di ba? So that's the certification for natural medicine then. Like what could you also share coming from yung framework naman ng PITAC or ng naturopathy that can also help our listeners na be more empowered in terms of managing their own health and well-being.
So PITAC, di ba? Philippine Institute for Traditional and Alternative Healthcare. And it's anchored in what we do as Filipinos and some of the belief systems. So for example, there's a belief that there are basically what you call elemental beings. Elements: earth, air, water, fire. So someone who has fever has a lot of fire, right? And how do you counter that in terms of the natural way? Water. And even in conventional medicine, if you have fever, what will the doctor tell you? Increased oral fluid intake. Rest, because too much activity is too much fire. So when you rest, you sort of balance. So PITAC is all about looking at the different modalities, not just pranic healing, anthroposophic medicine, Chinese medicine. And again, we have this different menu basing on what the patient is open to.
Ang dami
So,
namin. Ang dami
yes,
namin parang,
go
wow.
Donna.
Ang sarap ng information, Doc. Donna.
Ang daming aha moments no? No, my question, Doc naman, kasi this anthroposophical medicine, naturopathy, of course, for me personally, medyo normal na siya since we're in the holistic healthcare. For our listeners, it could be something new. So, ang question ko ngayon, kasi like for our topic na how to ease, yan. Asan na ba tayo?
Yes, body
How to
pain.
ease body pain the natural way.
Okay.
Coming from your experience, is there any case wherein there's body pain and then with this natural approach na address siya?
Okay, so I'll give, ang dami kong example. Wait,
Oo.
so
Mga 1, 2, 3.
so one of the examples I have is somebody, he's in his 80s. There was a vehicular accident, and because he's 80 years old, there's a hesitancy to do surgery. Yeah. So, but there's broken bone. But it's just that because of the advanced age, and you still have to work on improving other parameters like blood sugar, etc. To better to have a better prognosis after the surgery. So this patient, it's the daughter who called me, and it's really an emergency because of the immobilization. The patient cannot move the bowel, and it's been 4 days. So if you can it's too graphic, but it's really painful for the patient. So, okay, while um, I, I actually used pranic healing for this. And so while the daughter was preparing whatever, the internet, etc., but I already know the details. So I started doing general sweeping, localized sweeping. And when the daughter came on the call, she said, "Oh, my father actually moved the bowel." So, and we haven't started. And then I told her, I have been starting. So that was one. And right after we finished pranic healing online, just online, a second bowel movement. So the patient was relieved. And that's a very physical pain. If you have not been moving and you're used to moving regularly, that's very painful. So that's one case. Second case. This was, I think, in 2007. It was me. So I had you know, again, pain, and and I have high tolerance for pain. So when I finally said, "I'm not okay, bring me to the hospital," my family, they knew I was not really okay. So I was rushed to the hospital, blood test taken, etc., and then diagnosis, appendicitis, acute appendicitis. And they were preparing for me to have surgery before it ruptures, etc. But it so happens. So this 2007. So I was already a medical doctor. That particular afternoon, it was an unplanned thing that my teachers from elementary, so I have not seen them for a long time, they went to Laguna to visit a colleague. And because it's already near the farm, they decided to visit me here at the farm. And because it was getting late, I realized, oh, they need to stay overnight, but I cannot afford the farm. So I looked for another place for them. And we were partying that night when the pain happened. And so two teachers came with me, my grade 3 teacher, Miss Loren, and then the other one is Mrs. Amoas, who was doing this. And I did not know what it was, but at a certain point while I was being wheeled to the OR, I felt relief. So this is not a license and not telling people to not have surgery. It just happened that in my case, the pain disappeared, and me being a medical doctor, I knew I was okay. So I signed home against medical advice and went home. And up to now, my appendix is still intact. And only recently, so I've been with the farm for 23 years, and I told myself when I reach age 49, I'm going to go for a sabbatical. And I'm actually on my sabbatical year. So I had time to, excuse me, I cleared my throat because I drank something cold. So I was on a sabbatical year, so I had time to visit, abandoned elderly. I had time to, support friends in their endeavors. And one of them is Donna Francisco, who said, "There's an event, ta 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 ta, and it's just 17 minutes away from my house." So I went, not really knowing what I'm getting into. And then when I recognized this, oh my gosh, that's the one that saved me from surgery many years ago. So there. So 2 examples enough?
Amazing.
We could ask for more. Ang sarap. Your stories are so
Yes.
amazing. And we were planning to really see how you were transforming from first a medical doctor. So the medical doctor, correct me, Doc, kung mali basically focusing on symptoms, right? And then giving medication. And then, so did you like feel that you wanted to then add integrative medicine so that you could see the whole person now, not just the physical, but also the other realities as a human being, emotional, the mental factors, and of course the spiritual. And then now you're already revealed to us that you're also pranic healer and arhatic yoga practitioner. So it's like an elevation of your practice. How was it for you, Doc? That whole journey.
So what you described is what most doctors, that's their path. I
Mm.
come from the opposite. I grew up with a heart condition. I was supposed to not live long. It was a very bad prognosis. But I have forward thinking parents who started looking for other things. So, as early as elementary days, we became vegetarian because it was a healing diet, according to the research of my parents. So, I got to experience the Philippine folk medicine and other energy healing medicine growing up. So, and little by little, I felt better. So, after that, I wanted to know the science. So I was first introduced to the energetic side on an experiential level before deciding to pursue the science.
Okay, so focusing na tayo sa ano, for our favorite topic talaga, which is energy workout on air. Really, we would love to share with our listeners, viewers, that there is energy. That energy awareness is so important in our lives, and that there is a way for us to learn how to also help ourselves, to help our energy body, which the integrative medicine professionals know exists in Pono. And it's not so obvious yet, or not so wildly, it's not even taught in our normal educational system. We need to search for places where we could learn more about energy in terms of the healing techniques that's being shared in pranic healing. So may we ask, Doc, how much has pranic healing also elevated your practice? Because since you were young, you were already exposed to all the possible other ways to naturally heal yourself. Using, as you said, your diet when you were younger, and then eventually you had experiences where energy healing was already applied to you by your teacher, and then you're exposed to the holistic way of integrative medicine as well. And then now adding pranic healing and arhatic yoga practice. How has that then also added to you as a
Okay,
professional?
I'll answer that, but I also want to touch on what you said that not everyone is aware of energy, but
Mhm.
we do have that. For example, how come we click? So that's a form, you don't know this person and yet somehow you feel light about this person. And then the opposite, you have somebody who did not do anything against you and yet you feel you don't want to be associated with this person. That's energy. And sometimes when you go inside a dilapidated building or an old car and then you just don't feel okay, that's a lot of cations, what we call the positively charged. So for example, when you're stressed, you produce a lot of acid, and acid is plus, yeah, H plus, yeah. So that's energy. So there's a biochemical counterpart, there's a hormonal counterpart, but that we know, like people who, oh, I woke up and I felt like a truck hit me. That's also energy. So it's not as if it's foreign, it's just that we don't realize that's it. But we have an idea of that. So, okay, so I just wanted to touch on that because you said some listeners are not aware of energy. Yeah. So, for example, growing up, I've already felt that, but there's if it's like, if you can pinpoint that it's that person which made me not okay, or this person which created the shift and I felt just so good. So, if you can pinpoint, then the awareness is there. But if you cannot pinpoint, so for example, during med school, there are moments when I'm doing my normal duty in the wards and suddenly I'm bedridden and I'm confined in the fifth floor of the Philippine General Hospital. And then afterwards, I'll be okay. And it's as if and nagdadahilan, right? So when you hear nagdadahilan, that's energy because it's too fast. Yeah. So it was actually the dean of the College of Education, Leticia Peñano Ho. She's clairvoyant, and she saw that my way of helping patients was transferring green energy to my patients. I did not know that. I just felt all of a sudden I'm not okay. Later on, I'll be okay. And I did not know that. So she told me how, she taught me how to shield. So did meditation, shielding, and I realized shielding is important when you're not strong enough. But when you've generated enough intensity, enough momentum, you don't have to shield. So when I trained in, it's called Jinsin Jitsu, it's like pranic healing, but Japanese. So certain techniques, but also energy body. The imagination is you connect to the divine, and then it's not you giving your energy, but rather you're the conduit. So in fact, you're getting blessed when you heal patients. So that's the imagination. So for others who are clairvoyant, they don't have to imagine. But for those who are clairvoyant, then you have to imagine as a help in the beginning.
Yeah. Thanks, Doc. So for our listeners na clairvoyant is someone who can see energy. As you've mentioned, di ba, Doc, na nakita niya green yung energy. So to know more about that, we can post a link where you would like to take the course, especially in pranic healing kasi there's an advanced pranic healing course where you can learn the colors. So going back, Doc, as you mentioned, all of what you have experienced since you were a child and then now as med school and now currently at the farm, um, ang ganda ng sinabi niyo na nagdadahilan. Kasi madami talagang gano'n, yung, um, hindi na makabangon, tas parang wala lang, gano'n. So, for those people na like this, na nagdadahilan or meron silang nararamdaman, maybe you can share na kasi we know that if there is pain or discomfort of the body, it's a reminder already for us, 'di ba, to take notice of what's happening in our body. So with that, what can you give us like how to or siguro unang-una muna is what could be the root cause of this pain? And then second is how do we find ease and comfort? Or how can we address this pain?
Okay. So pain or any symptom for that matter, it's the body's way of telling you that it is not in balance. So for example, headache is overactivity in a trapped space. So one of the techniques is to move your ankles because as above, so below. If it's too much activity there, you need to neutralize it by making sure there's enough activity in the polar opposite. So that's one. Another way by which you ease the pain is to breathe out. When you exhale, you create space. And in fact, we do that. Ah, and there's ah. So is the sound of opening. So when you say, I get it, or when you go to the beach and naturally there's an opening. But when you're in pain, you also, so there's a concentrated overactivity in a small space. And what do? So it's really this biological need to create an opening. Okay, so you've created space, the awareness. So this is quite technical, but and this is, I don't think this is pranic healing. I'm not far advanced into the pranic healing, but in my case, because COVID time, I gave birth, and I did not want to be inside. And the thing was, I was planning to have a normal birth, but I'm quite elderly, so there's that part. But on the last week, when the expected date of confinement came about, my son shifted, and so it became breech. So they said it's too risky. Go for cesarean section. So now, I gave birth at around 7 o'clock. Before 10 o'clock in the morning, I was out of the hospital. Now, they will only allow you, it's not allowed for a cesarean section individual to go out of the hospital, but it's COVID time. I don't want to be in that environment. I just want to get out. So home against medical advice again. It's not, you know, I'm a doctor, so I know I can monitor myself. So I had the intravenous injection was removed. Now, pain meds when it has circulated my system, that's when the pain hit me. Oh my gosh. And then the thing was, so this doesn't happen all the time, but it happened to me because it was COVID time. I was left for a long time outside, and you're not wearing clothes, right? After the surgery, you're not wearing clothes. It was so cold, and I was left all alone. And twice I asked for blanket, and I was passing in and out because I had anesthesia. So I felt I was developing a cough, and that's why I don't want to be inside the hospital. They might treat me as a COVID case when I know it was just from cold. Now, if you have an abdominal surgery and you're coughing, when you cough, has to be the slightest cough because it might open the wound and it's really painful. And it was April time, so I could really feel, the Easter, before the Easter, the Dolorosa, Via Dolorosa experience of the pain. And so there's at the point of pain, you will lose consciousness because it's just so painful. The body will help you by releasing that part of you that feels the pain. The mental, emotional body, or the astral body. That's the pain body in Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now. But I'm breastfeeding, so I cannot lose consciousness. So I was trying to make sure I'm conscious, but when I'm conscious, I feel pain. When I'm not conscious, it's a relaxation, and how to be in the middle. So by observing the pain. So when you observe the pain, and the pain is just a messenger, what is it trying to tell you? And when you're able to decode the message of the pain, it lifts off. And then it comes back, and then it lifts off. So there's this natural breathing in and out. So for those who, and I have a teacher in Switzerland, he had a heart attack at the top of the mountain. Yeah, and not accessible to helicopters, etc. It was breathing in and out. And then when he has enough energy, a few steps, they go down with the wife. And then rest. So breathing in and out, the expansion and contraction is very important, and really listening to the rhythm of the body and understanding how rhythm is so much a part of the healing qualities that you need if you want to deal with these kinds of things. Did I answer your question?
Yes, Doc. Thank you. So number
Super.
one, sige, Ai.
Go.
Number one is, nalimutan ko tuloy.
Balance, polarity.
Yeah,
Oh, yung
breathe,
movement, no? Yung movement, yung, ano yung sabi mo?
breathe.
Uh,
Then
breathe, and then
breathing, rhythm.
being aware of the pain.
Yeah.
Sige,
Or
Ai.
ang nagustuhan ko doon yung yun nga parang you're listening to what the pain is trying to tell you. Kasi malamang iba-iba nga yung pinanggagalingan So like what Doc Marian said, dahil holistic beings tayo, no, minsan akala natin may migraine tayo, pero it's not something that has it's not something na limited lang sa head natin na masakit yung ulo ko kasi maybe yung utak ko, etc. Yun pala, pwedeng related sa stress, pwedeng related sa emotional concerns, di ba? So, and then, ang for me, important na mention din ni Doc Marian is yung importance of rhythm. No? Yun talaga na, and yung, when there's pain, it signals na there's something out of balance. and out of rhythm within our body. So yun yung parang major ano sa akin, reminder din. So yun, first is listening also. Yun, listening what is the pain trying to tell you, and yun, what is it within your system and your body na out of balance or out of rhythm. Anything else, Doc Marian, you want to add?
Marami pero baka ma-off topic eh. So I will
Pwede,
Sige.
Akin lang po.
pwede another topic yon. Ito tong part 2. Pero
May
ano,
part 2.
bigla ko lang na, kasi nga 'di ba yung pain, 'di ba, there's yung contraction. So everything is
Yes.
like yun nga naka-contract. Tas I love yung sinabi mo as a reminder to, as you breathe, you create, parang you create space, you open. So it's a good reminder then na in anything that we do, if we feel overwhelmed, at the same time then create space, breathe. Yan. Sige, Marix.
It's just so enlightening, Doc Marian, because when I hear you speak, I feel like I'm healed already. Can you, and I'm trying to imagine a patient going to you versus a patient going to a purely maybe medical perspective,
Allopathic.
the allopathic medicine. I go back to my experiences where they will just really prescribe to me medicine, and going home thinking they didn't ask me if I slept well or if I maybe don't drink enough water, or if there's something happening, in at home or at work. So when I hear you sharing your experiences, even for what you went through, and then you're also applying it to all the events of your life, how it's so integrated to not always just running towards getting medication, which is of course also very important, but to see how you can also ease your pain, harnessing other parts of what's truly part of the human body, the breath, your awareness, your um
The food you eat. I like
the
it.
mind, the mindset, the emotion. So when I was listening to you, I was like, I would love to go to you as my primary doctor.
You know what? The big diagnosis, heart attack,
Mm,
cancer, autoimmune diseases, the first thing I ask before the symptoms came, what's happening in your life?
mm,
And
mm,
usually they know. Divorce, uh, custody case, things like that.
mm.
Business issues. So before the physical symptom, it's in the energetic realm. And if you're not addressing it, it's going to go down to the force field, which is so you have the mental, emotional. So from my experience, I don't know about the others, but from my experience, 90% of the big diagnosis, it's coming from the mental, emotional realm. And then you have the energetic realm, which sort of protects you at a certain point. And if it cannot anymore, that's when it goes down to the physical body.
So, Doc, if we apply that to what's common as well, hypertension, no? I've had many family members, they would suddenly feel it even at a young age or maybe retirement age. And medication is being given as a daily intake. What would you say to those patients, Doc?
Well, number one, look at the sleep.
Mm,
Because sleep, more often than not, because they have a recent issue or maybe a prolonged, long-standing issue, they're losing sleep. That's one of the things you might look into. Now, magnesium is a muscle relaxant. So that's one of the things that normally is lacking when someone has hypertension. And I knew that way back in 2002. Now, magnesium is a fad, right? But before, we already knew that more from, studying ancient healing streams. Now, the thing about hypertension is, so we talked about the energy body, it's getting thin or it's getting depleted. So you want to work on cleaning what's causing the depletion in that part of your system. So I'll use the anthroposophic medicine language. So the etheric or energy body is depleted, and you have the mental emotional body, which is pushing against the energy body. And so it's trying so hard to protect the physical body. And if it cannot, that's when hypertension happens to alarm you, to give you an alarm. So think of it as a, when you're driving and suddenly there's no more gas, or there's about to, your gas is almost used up, it blinks. So you get stressed naturally. So do you cover that alarm with a sticker so you don't get bothered? Or do you, okay, this is a warning, I need to look now for the nearest gasoline station? And it's something like that with hypertension. You don't, of course, if it's really high, you want to suppress it so that you can be functional. But what could be the reason? Is it the diet? And even in conventional medicine, they check, are you eating fried fatty foods? Are you eating a lot of salty foods? It's even in conventional medicine, they look at the diet. But rest, so diet, rest. But more importantly, solve the problem. Or if you cannot solve the problem, there are ways by which you bring down the voltage of emotion so it doesn't have to be affecting the body to the point of alarm.
You talked about bringing down the voltage of emotion. So we also have pranic healing also has a, a course for treating as well psychotherapy, right? It's like pranic psychotherapy. So we also can share, right? We can also share with our listeners that um, we also have courses that can help address and get to know more about your emotions, how to cleanse any blocked emotions as well, which may have caused hypertension, and how to energize yourself. Doc Marian, the language you're using, it's nakakataba po ng puso kasi it's so aligned as well with what we have been learning in pranic healing. And I wanted to ask you, Doc, are you mm, able to use a lot of the pranic healing techniques as well for your patients now? Because it's so aligned with how you're also when you explain something on a medical integrative lens, it's so almost like it's the same language.
So the short answer is yes. And
Mhm.
the long answer is me thinking of a patient, because you mentioned it. Is it okay?
Mhm.
So this is a psychiatric nurse, very conventional. And she's being monitored for something in the uterus. And so she's feeling something, and she knows she's not imagining it, but all tests are okay. Okay,
Mm.
so she came here and I did pranic healing. But before that, I asked her, what are you feeling? Detailed. That particular thing that you're sensing, how big is it? Very objective. How big, if there's a texture, is it hollow or solid? Very objective. And then I did pranic healing. And then before that, we did the before. So here at the farm, we have what you call bridge technologies. So you have the usual physical technology, and you have energetic technology, you have space medicine technology. So it bridges the spiritual and the physical. So bridge technologies basically look at subtle bodies, and it's very sensitive machines. So there's the subjective, where she wrote down what she was feeling, and I measured her using brain biofeedback and isolated the uterus, because that's the problem. But we also have the voice signature analysis, because just from your voice, it can check your chakras. So chakra are energetic, you know. Yeah. So so there's an objective part, subjective part, and then I did the pranic healing. And then she really felt light. Okay. And then so we did a post treatment measurement. And the post-treatment measurement is this is your pre. And as you're being measured, you can see changes. It's moving. So right before her eyes, she saw the shift. Yeah. So for a conventional medicine doctor, she's validated that she's not imagining it. It's something, so that's because some people would say they just dismiss it's psychological. But the psychological thing has an impact on the energy body, has an impact on the physical body. And if neglected for a long time, then it becomes a diagnosis. So you want to catch while it's still in the energetic level, before it physicalizes.
So, Doc Marian, you say that we have these bridge technologies available at the farm, and we could, in a way, because of the physical changes that are being, it's showing in your machine, then you can extrapolate that it's also because it's an energy reaction. Mm. We would
Wow.
love to see those machines.
Yeah, we'll go there. Kailangan natin kailangan
Magbisita
natin
tayo sa the farm.
experience. So, yan. So, it's wow. Ang bilis. Ang bilis. It's almost, I think, an hour already. But of course, we will be inviting you for our next podcast pa. Kasi we would love to hear a lot more from you. Of course, other than energy is actually nung naalala ko, gustong-gusto ko talaga kasama si Doc Marian 'pag nung nagtuturo pa ako sa The Farm dati. So, I would every breakfast 'no, every breakfast or lunch, hanapin ko 'yan kung sino yung nasa kung sino yung nasa resto. Because I always learn from her, especially on naalala ko nun yung talagang, about the development of a child and ang dami ko natutunan sa kanya. So, maybe that one could be another topic for next episodes. So with that, my key takeaway would be, again, is to address pain or to um to have a pain-free experience in anything that we do. Yun pa rin number one is to breathe and to take note, to be aware of why there is pain and discomfort in the body. How about you, Ai?
Yung main takeaway and reminder for me is, yun nga, actually, like Doc Marian said, no, parang our being has a lot of layers protecting us. So actually, when we were experiencing pain and physical ailment, it means na um, nagsa-sound na ng alarm na grabe na yung parang there really has to be a change. But the good thing is, once we are aware of this and once we listen to this signal, we are also empowered because we can always make a different choice. So in terms of our day-to-day rhythm, diba, our being more balanced in our day-to-day habits and rhythm, and madaming practical tips din na na-mention na ni Doc Marian in terms of staying healthy the natural way, yung diet, yung sleep, diba, breathing, and other things. So magandang reminder ito so that we can also be very empowered in managing our own health and preventing physical pain and ailments. Na yun pala ay very deeply connected din sa other aspects of our being. So thank you, Doc Marian, for this afternoon session. And how about Marixie, your takeaway?
Dr. Marian, first time I'm meeting you, but I feel very, very at ease. So, yun na po yung energy ninyo. Thank you so much for everything you shared today. Ang daming kong takeaway. In fact, ang daming kong papel dito nakasulat. Isa is, I'm so excited to get to see you in person. Also to know that bawa ko sa mga medical doctors, ang dami po niyong pinagdaanan, especially after you adding as well integrative medicine, and then now the more detail on energy healing through pranic healing. And when I feel like parang bless all the doctors who also have this holistic way of seeing the individual in front of them, so that whatever pain they are presenting, they can see it as a message for them that there's something that's not aligned, not balanced in their life, not just as a physical symptom happening as already the last na, but something was happening on the energetic level. And to hear that from a medical doctor, integrative medical doctor, it's so heartwarming, that we have a chance that we can always look for integrative doctors to help us in a holistic way of taking care of ourselves. And also, of course, thank you for being so open and sharing your history of, already being in this holistic way of healing ever since you were a child, brought on by, of course, your environment as well, your parents, and then your teachers, and then now in your own environment of work. So it's so all aligned for you, and we learned a lot. But moving forward, I'm so excited to know more about the bridge technology. I always wanted to know if there are machines out there that are sensitive enough or been so well made by all the engineers, scientific engineers, to measure the changes of our energy by measuring our physical body. So thank you for sharing that as well, Doc. We'll see you soon.
Yes, soon. Di pa tapos, Doc.
See
Ah,
you at the retreat.
yeah. And then, do you have any, um, teka, yan. Would you like to invite, Doc, our listeners, if they want to contact you, where is your clinic? Yan, puntahan nila kayo, Doc.
Oh, sa the farm lang.
So everyone who would like to visit Doc Marian, she is available every day ba, Doc? No. So maybe just contact na lang. Contact the farm for her details. Yan. If you want to have your energy also measured by the machines at the farm. And by the way, for all our listeners, please subscribe and like our FB page, Pranic Healing South Luzon PH. We are also in our Spotify, Apple Podcast, Energy Workout on Air, and also our YouTube channel, Pranic Healing South Luzon PH. Again, this is Donna, with me, Marixie and Ai, and this is your Energy Workout on Air.
Your dose of prana power on the go.
Hello and
Thank
welcome
you.
everyone.